following conversation contains topics around drugs, addiction, and the road to recovery. If you or someone you know is struggling with drugs or alcohol, please reach out. Asking for help is the hardest part. If you're in the tri-state area, you can actually reach out to our guest today, Mario, at 203-917-1988 or SAMHSA at 1-800-662-4357.
Hey, man. I was thinking about, people are different sizes. Animals are different sizes, too. There's an average, but, everything ranges from, big to small. And the only reason that Bigfoot is popular is because he's got big feet. So there's got to be a Bigfoot out there with almost like a regular size foot, and they probably just call that one foot. I feel bad for Foot because what if Foot isn't as big as the other feet out there, and so he's going around and he's got some kind of a complex because he's just Foot, and then his buddies are like, "Shut up, Foot! Go get me a fermented pine drink." I don't know if they drink it. It's Sasquatch chai. It's a Squatchy. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. So there's a Foot out there that's not kicking so much ass because these guys probably are just being a Foot. And feel bad. Call me back.
Hey, yo, welcome to the Memo Show. Today, we have a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, and my friend, Mario the Italian Horn Diurno, a.k.a. Marz. How many fucking nicknames do you have?
I've had a couple, and these are the nicer ones of the few. Yeah, I don't know, man. What's going on, dude?
Not much. Thanks for coming by and doing a little interview with me. I've been following your Instagram for a very long time. I think right after you and my cousin kind of split, which is a kind of a funny story because I remember seeing that you were doing better, right? And I was like, I was on a plane, and I was I think we were coming to California, and I was on the plane, and I was looking through Instagram, or maybe it was Facebook at the time. I don't remember, but I was like, oh shit, it's Marz. I was like, oh my God, he looks good. He's doing better. And I was like so happy inside, and I was so excited for you. And I remember liking or friending you or liking one of your posts or something. And when I landed, I got a fucking barrage of text messages from my cousins saying what the fuck is the matter with you? Why are you liking his shit? Why are you friending him? Da-da-da. And immediately I was like, fuck you guys. It's like, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? Right? And I'm not trying to start the podcast off with drama, but I was pissed, bro, because I was like, I think I was still at the time, I think I was still struggling. And in my head, I was like, fuck, if Marz can do it, I can do it. Right? And I just wanted to show my support to you, even though everything that happened, I was just happy to see you were okay. And I don't think I've spoken to them since.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's kind of something that you're not responsible for that. I don't want to make you think that that's your fault. I had a lot of other issues with them, but that was a big thing that I always carried with me and that I've always wanted to talk to you about because like you told me, like through text message earlier, like we've been through shit together, you know, like we experienced stuff together, basically grew up together. I mean, we would pass through each other's life here and there. But you know, it was always crazy times. But, what do you...
Well, dude, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, it's emotional for me. I feel the same about you though. Like, you were always the homie. You were always like the one I connected with. Like, you were just Memo, dude. You know what I mean? You were Gare. Like, I don't know what it was, but like I was drawn to you, and I feel like we had a connection since day one, dude. Like, I mean, I was around since probably I was like 16 or something like that, 17. So like, you know, you were family. Like, I hung out with you guys almost more than my own family for years, and you know, we would smoke weed together, we'd hang out, we would go to shows, we'd spend holidays together. Like, I felt like sometimes I had to kind of like fake it, like, you know, hide my addiction, obviously, and mental illness. And, but like with you, I always felt like I didn't have to hide it, you know, like I felt like you got it. And, without even saying anything. And I looked up to you, actually. Like, to me, you were like that rock star, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you were just that cool fucking dude that I wish that, like... And I had, like, a cousin like that as well, but we just weren't that close, you know, at the time. And so it was like, yo, you were, like, that cool brother almost that I never had. You know, like that... I don't know. It's just... You were a rock star, dude. So it was, like, instant love. And I was just so happy, you know, when we started, like, talking and stuff. And I don't know, man. Like I said, you're family to me, dude. And it was just, like, I didn't know what to do, but I also was like, hey, man, like, this dude... gets it. He was, you know, obviously he's cool, and like, you know, I was a little weird at first. Like, I didn't know how to approach it. Like, I didn't want to be disrespectful, but yeah, man, you've always kind of stayed the same, and that's what I appreciate about you and other people. It's like, I always appreciate people who kind of are just who they are and don't switch up, you know?
Yeah, I think that was my biggest problem with, you know, my family, was that everybody deserves a fucking second chance. Whether you're the type of person that believes that, whether you're the type of person who won't give people second chances, they still deserve a second chance. And if they're no longer in your life and they're making that second chance for themselves elsewhere, fucking great. Like, I am all for that. But to me, the biggest thing was like, I don't like people who are contradictive, you know, like you can't sit there and talk shit about someone who's got things that they're struggling with and that are trying to do the right thing when you're over there doing the same thing and not trying to help yourself, you know? And to me, that was the biggest fuck you. It's been a really long time. I don't know. How long have you been clean?
So I just celebrated 9 years, dude. It's crazy.
Wow. Congratulations, man. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you.
So it's probably been about that long because, I saw my cousins at a wedding, my other cousin's wedding last year. That's why we went back to Connecticut last year. And it was at the point where it's like, okay, let's let bygones be bygones. And we didn't really talk about it, but, you know, it was very emotional when we saw each other. And I think that was the thing I was most nervous about going back there, was to see, you know, my aunt and my cousins. And, you know, I still kind of talk to a few of them here and there on Instagram, but we're not as close as we used to be. And I think that really totally put a dent in our relationship. But again, it wasn't just you. You kind of were the turning point for everything that happened. And that's, you know, that's another reason I wanted to talk to you today, because like when we go through, when we do the work, you know, to stay clean and stay sober and to, you know, work on our, you know, our issues. Part of that is like forgiving people. Right. And did you follow a program?
Yeah. I mean, so I started going to really, I got into recovery at like, I don't know. I think I first went to rehab when I was 19. Mm-hmm. But it was mostly like I was in denial still, and it was for depression, I thought. And, you know, really I was just not ready. But I had the real first introduction to recovery was I was 23 or 24, and I had overdosed. And I mean, it was bad. You know, I mean, obviously there's no good overdose, but it was like they, you know, ended up in a coma, and they told my family that, you know, come say goodbye. And you know, I was doing a lot of oxys. So, you know, I had a big oxy addiction, and basically, I mean, I was doing everything, but that was what kind of took me out. And you know, so that I woke up after 2 weeks, and you know, they told my family though. They said, hey, you know, come say goodbye to your son. And if he does wake up, like, he's going to be a vegetable. And I don't remember any of it. I just remember, like, going to pick someone up and then making the rounds and kind of, you know, I got in a car accident and I was in Stanford. I remember that. And then, you know, I went right to the bar. Like, it was just one of those nights where it was just like a typical night for me, honestly. It was sad. But
one of those fucking
you know,
nights. Yep, I know.
You know what I mean? Just another night where I was just doing a lot, you know, and kind of just... But I always knew, dude. Like, honestly, I mean, I always knew that I was probably gonna die around 26, 27, and you know,
like a fucking rock star.
Yeah, like I literally, it
jerk.
wasn't like a shock. Like I was in so much pain, and I was just like looking forward to it, and just. But yeah, I woke up and a weird series of events happened that I couldn't deny. Like, and I'm no like Jesus freaking nothing, but like, there's definitely something up there because. I've called my brother from the hospital bed and like told on myself about that I had more drugs at the crib, which is like not me. My nurse was my best friend growing up, my neighbor. Her brother like helped save me at my friend's house, like all these things. And then the craziest part is like this dude who I actually just been trying to reconnect with. This guy shows up at my hospital bed, and a friend of mine tells me to call him, and I don't know him. You know, I call him and he says, I'll be there tomorrow. And no money, no like he wasn't hired. Like, it was weird. He came to my hospital bed and I don't really remember what he said, but I just remember that whatever it was, like I wanted it. Like, and then the next thing I know, I went to rehab, dude. It was crazy. So yeah, the short version is, you know, I've been trying this for about 20 years and I've had ups and downs, but, you know, I've been to treatment probably 12, 13 times. I've been to mental institutions, rehabs, jails, you know, whatever. I mean, everything kind of death.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
been a long journey, man. I feel like a soldier.
I mean, that's kind of, you know, what we are. I mean, like we as, you know, addicts, we call these like war stories, you know, like when we talk about when we used to use, or we talk about fucking funny or shitty or crazy or sad shit that happened to us while we were in addiction. It's like, that's what we call them. You know, if you're in, you know, AA and you go out and smoke a cigarette with someone, you're probably going to tell a war story, you know? So we are fucking soldiers. We've been through fucking hell and back, you know? So that first experience with real recovery where you really wanted it and you really knew in your heart that you're like, fuck, I got to do this. Like, was that a 12-step, or was it something, you know, unorthodox or something different, or what was it?
It was like a homeless shelter, but for people that like wanted to get clean, but didn't really have a program lined up. And they would just take us to meetings. And, you know, I mean, I'd been like once in high school with a buddy of mine, but couldn't tell you anything about it. So yeah, they would take the druggy buggy, dude, and we'd go to meetings every night, you know, or we could walk to them, and we didn't really have much to do. So we were hitting sometimes 2-3 meetings a day. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, it was mostly, I was going to NA, I was going to AA, I was going to really anything that was available. Not saying I was like really that hungry for it, to be honest with you, but kind of just doing it, you know, because I figured I felt so bad for my family, you know, after seeing them like that. I was like, I have to at least try, you know, something here.
What year was that? Like you said, when you overdosed?
That was 2004, October. Holy shit, dude. What's today? It might be today, dude. Bro, I think it was like today. I'd have to check like one of my books for like my sober date that day, but I think it was like around this date, if not today, that year. Wow.
Congratulations.
It's trippy though, dude.
But you stayed clean after that experience, yeah? No? Did you relapse?
Yeah. I mean, eventually what happened was you know, I got really involved and just really loved the people and the fellowship, like the community aspect, and just people were so cool, and I felt like I belonged. Like I was like, damn, finally there's other people here. Like I'm not the only one. And I hooked up with a lot of like dudes that were similar to me, and just we hung out and we had fun and we went to, like, they just showed me the ropes. It was cool. They took me in. I stayed clean for like almost 2 years, and then I had it, and then I went out, and that was, I think, I'm trying to remember, the timeline's fuzzy in my head, but there was that time when we were working together, and you were my boss at Starbucks. Remember,
bro? I fucking I need you to fill in some blanks for me, okay? Cause 2004, I wasn't really using. I did the normal shit. Like I felt like I was a normal user, I guess, if that's a thing.
yeah.
But where like I could get a couple perks, I could get some Xannies, I could get some whatevers, and do them for the weekend, and then be good. Do my life after that, and then when I had a couple days off, I get some stuff and have fun. But I don't think it was until later that I really got sucked into having to have it all the time, and still telling myself, oh, I'm fine, whatever, I can maintain this. But going back to that, that was probably 2004. We were working at a coffee company. I was the assistant manager, and I remember my cousin coming in and saying, hey, can you get Mario a job? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because if my memory serves correct, we worked at the ice house together too. Did you work at the ice house?
Dude. I did maybe a little bit, but not like full time. I don't think. Like
everybody did a stint at the ice house at some point, I think.
Yeah, it's foggy, dude. There's a lot of foggy memories out there.
But anyway, I knew that you had a good work ethic. At least I didn't hear anything, other than that. But I remember I got you hired. You went through training. You were killing it. You did everything. Like everything. You picked up so fast. I've never seen someone with that much of a go-getter fucking attitude. Like, just show me what to do and I'll do it. And I would show you, and then you would latch onto it, and then you did it 10 times better. And, my manager's looking at me like, yeah, good hire, right? Fucking you phenomenal with the customers. Phenomenal. I think maybe 2 weeks in, you were like working the bar, you were making drinks, you were getting them out on time, too fucking standard. You were hitting the condiment bar. Fucking bro, you were like out of this world. I think that's why we called you fucking Marz. But yo,
I love that.
Fucking paychecks come, you disappear for a fucking week. Like, Mario, you're scheduled. Mario, you're on the schedule. Mario, where are you? Bro, where are you? Bro, you're on the schedule. Bro. What happened, dude? What happened in that? It was a week, maybe 4 or 5 days. I don't know. But bro, when that paycheck hit, you were out like a ghost.
Bro, it was bad. Dude, it's funny now and shit, because we're like the only people nice because you were there, and it's weird. For me, it's awesome because nobody's really there, when I talk to them now. But so as my memory serves, it was actually like 2006.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I was done in 2008. Yeah.
So this was like after rehab, like post, like I had been clean, like post overdose and all that, and I had been clean, or sober for like almost 2 years, I think, dude. And I forget what happened. I think I moved back to the area, which was really tough. I had got back together with your cousin, which I wasn't planning on, which was also like, so there was like a lot going on, and I didn't really connect. You know, I tell people that all the time now. It's so important. I was just talking to someone the other night because they had been through it too. And when you move and you're in recovery, it's really, really important to, it's not easy. So if you have like your network and your foundation and everything in a certain area and you make a big move, I try to tell people is like, it's very dangerous. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's like you really got to plug in when you get there. Because if not, for me anyway, that was my downfall. So, yeah. So I remember working with you. It was fucking awesome. We were crushing it. We were playing great music. We were playing Guns N' Roses, closing together. We had a cool staff. Like, it was like a sick staff. And all the AA people were coming in to visit, like, along with a lot of other people that, like, were really hard to deal with. And
Yeah.
and the next thing I know, I forget exactly what set it off, but, you know, it'd been happening for a little while where it was like I wasn't going to as many meetings, or maybe I wasn't sharing what was going on inside me. And that's it. Next thing I knew, I was with somebody else in the program, and we were both kind of on our way out. And I'll never forget that morning, dude. Like, I was like getting ready. I was smoking crack in my mom's, you know, house upstairs. She was like yelling at me per usual, like in Italian, but like didn't know what was going on, but she knew I was acting funny. And I just made up some lie. I was like, yeah, I got to go. They're transferring me. I got to be in the Greenwich store today. And and I stole my dad's car, dude, which was like, he wouldn't even let me drive that thing, like, period, even if he was in it.
Oh my goodness.
You know, he was just old school. And I stole his car. He was working in Vermont. And I went on like I thought it was like a 2-week run, dude. But it might have been shorter, but
it could have been longer. I didn't think you were coming back.
Bro, I almost died. I stole my dad's car. I went out to Danbury where I didn't know anybody that used. So now I'm creating like a whole new area of like, I'm ruining like my good area. You know what I mean? Like Norwalk for me was like done.
Yeah.
And it got ugly like instantly, dude. Like, I remember like I was with a good dude.
The minute you pass over that border into Danbury, it always gets ugly. So I don't know what you were expecting.
Yeah, it did. Bro, it got so ugly, dude. I saw places and things that I had never seen. It was so dark, dude. We were in crack houses. We were in New Milford. We were in Waterbury. Like, it was like the crack shuttle, dude. And it was just me and this dude. Thank God he's a great dude, because he wasn't like a scumbag, but like, I mean, he just don't stop either. So if you want to get high, like, he was just like, bro, we're good, don't worry. But he was like tough. Like, he was fucking people up. He was beating them for drugs. He'd be like, I remember one day he's like, yo, you got your phone? I was like, yeah. And it was like a brand new Razor or something at the time. I was like, all I had left. And it was like, I love that thing. And he goes, but I trusted him. And he goes, give me your phone. And he went out, and I saw him, and he fucking gave the dude my phone. And then the next day he was like, I get your phone back. And he just punched the dude in the face. He just knocked him out. Took all the drugs and the phone back. He goes, here you go, Skippy. I was like, thanks, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah, I was like, but bro, I mean, dude,
My God.
You know, the saddest part of that is that no one knew where I was. My family thought I was dead. You thought I was probably dead, right? Like, you know,
I knew you weren't dead because you're a resilient motherfucker. But I was so curious as to where you had gone. And I was kind of pissed because I was like, he was doing so good. Like, why did he choose to like fuck this up? You know? And I didn't understand addiction at that time. I had no clue that you were even going through it. I didn't know that you were in recovery. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. And, you know, I've learned that that's important, that you got to tell people that shit so that way they know. If something were to happen, that, you know, they can look out for you in that way. But I had no idea. I didn't understand that stuff at the time. I was still using recreationally, you know, I was still like, you know, whatever, drugs weren't really a big concern for me. But I think in the back of my mind, I knew what happened. But I didn't think you died. I was hoping you didn't die. But it was, you know, scary because we couldn't get in contact with you. So like, he could be fucking anywhere. But go ahead, keep going. Tell me more.
Dude, so I mean, I basically just went on a crazy run with this dude, and you know, my family had put like a missing persons. I had zero contact with anyone. People were calling me, leaving vet voice. I was very sad. I was like high the whole time. I was dark. Like it was like it was just a sad, sad feeling because once I start, like it's balls to the wall, and it was just kind of like I just wanted to run, and like I didn't want to face anything, and like then I'm like, damn, I messed up the job, and I messed up the girl and the everything, the family and the trust and all this stuff, and you know, I mean, I was kind of hoping to die, to be honest with you, and I'll never forget. You fucking saved my life, dude. Like my sponsor was calling me, everybody was calling me. I didn't pick up for anyone, dude. And either you called me or I called you because you had called me a couple times, and whatever it was, though, you were the only one that got through to me, dude, and that I felt safe for some reason calling, or just like I don't know why I felt bad to you, but no one. It was weird, dude. But you saved my life. You were my angel that day, man. Like I just remember like being in a crack house, and there was a lot of fucked up shit going on, and I did not want to be there, but and we were smoking this crack that was so strong that I literally was like, thought I was like, that's it. The next one's going to be the one that kills me, and it was kind of like the end. I just kind of knew I had to do something. And I remember calling you, or you called me, and just crying. And I was just crying. And you're the reason why I came back, dude. Literally. I don't know if you know that, but it's like without you, I don't know. Back then I wasn't responding to anybody.
Man, I don't exactly remember the conversation, but I probably said something like Mario, just come back. Just come back, because it didn't matter what happened at the time. We just wanted you back, because like I think you probably still don't really realize how special of a person you are and how much of an effect that you have on people. And I believe 100% that that's, the reason why you're doing so well with the group that you're with right now, Release, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have an effect on people. You immediately can make people smile and feel at ease and feel comfortable. And I think in that moment, I had to be that person for you and just tell you, just come back, just come home, just come back to the store. Just come back. Like, it doesn't matter. Just come back. Whatever happened. Let's figure it out. And then I believe we rehired your ass.
Yes.
I remember you came into the store and you were basically begging to me and, Mitch. I'm going to shout him out because he taught me to be like that, to give people second chances. And he taught me to give people the benefit of the doubt and, expect to be hurt, expect to be let down, but you need to do it for people. And I remember talking to him like, he fucked up, Mitch. He fucked up. Like, but he needs this. Like, give him another chance. Please give it. You saw how much of a good worker he was. Da, 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 da. And then he was like, all right, fine. One more chance. And you were back.
It was crazy. I remember that too. I remember like not wanting to like I was so scared, and like my pride and my ego, and like walk, my tail between my legs, and I don't like almost didn't want to come back, at all. I was just kind of like, it's over. And then I remember like,
well, the embarrassment and the shame is the whole reason why people don't fucking get sober to begin with. That's the hardest fucking thing.
Exactly. So it was like this big dirty secret, dude. And then, how do you explain that? Like, how do you explain to somebody you were killing it, and then all of a sudden you go MIA? And like, how does you know what I mean? Like, you don't understand. Like, people, like in my mind, like normal people ain't gonna believe it or don't understand. They must think I'm a nut job. And the craziest thing, I'll never forget it. Like it was yesterday. I remember sitting on that awesome, beautiful patio. It was like that 3-tier patio back there.
Yep.
It was a nice day. I was sitting down with Mitch, And I kind of didn't tell him all the details, but I explained like kind of like how I was taught, like, I have a problem, like I'm in recovery, and I had a relapse. And he was just smiling and just listening. I just goes, well, he goes, why didn't you call your sponsor? And I was like,
it's not that easy, Mitch.
I was like, yeah, but I was like, damn, how does he know that? I'm like, that's a good question. And
that dude knew everything. He knows everything.
Dude, bro, he's the man. Shout out to Mitch. Like, I actually ran into him a couple years ago out in like Danbury area, and like we kicked it for a little bit. It was so good. He's such a good dude.
Oh my God, he's one of the most influential people in my life, probably. But he's I don't know where he's at. He's in North Carolina, South Carolina, somewhere. He's chilling with his kids, and I think he's got a new partner. But super happy for him.
Oh, he's the best, dude. I'll never forget. You and him together were pivotal to like, just like mentors to me. You know what I mean? Like really good, just good people, good mentors, just motivated me. And just, I don't know, it was like some of the best times of my life, honestly, working with you guys there.
Yeah, word. But yeah, I think when you came back, I didn't even want to ask. I think that's why for this long, I didn't know what happened, because I guess I was too afraid to ask what happened, because I was just like, just in my heart hoping that it wouldn't happen again. But I don't know. I'm glad that turned out the way it was. So, but after that, I mean, you went into recovery again and all that stuff, but was it that you weren't working the steps, or was it you just still weren't ready yet? Like what happened? Like what went through your head when you're in that car with, another person in the program, and they're like, yo, let's go cop. And then you just go. Like I would not hang out with people from my group. I did that once, and that's how I relapsed. So I don't know how it went for you. Like, were you just both not completely 100% in it?
Yeah, I think so. I think the dude, what happened was, like, when I had moved, I was going to meetings with this other dude I grew up with, but he wasn't really all in, and he was kind of struggling with mental illness, like other than even outside of stuff that I had. And so it's kind of got two dudes that were, I was feeling kind of down and uncomfortable about being back in the area. I had no work. I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, the meetings were different. It's always everything, I got to start over essentially in a way. And I just, I was doing that for a while. I still was going to Danbury and talking to them and missing them, and, had a sponsor out there, but I just never really connected and dove into the work when I moved back. So that's when it started. It was even before, I think before, that happened at Starbucks and all that stuff. So now you got to mix, it's like I'm back in my old house, which was a lot of bad memories. Afraid to like see people. I'm back with your cousin, which was kind of tumultuous. It's kind of like wasn't a great idea at the time. I just didn't really recognize it for both of us anyway,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like she's good now. She doesn't have any issues. Like she's got a job and killing it. She drinks, see like I'm the problem. Like AA is my thing, and recovery, and like everyone else, like you're normal, and
yeah.
So I think it was just a lot at once. And then, it's all it takes, man. This thing's sneaky. But yeah, I might have, looking back, like had a reservation that I never looked at, or, just wasn't diligent, I guess. I mean, this thing is so sneaky. It happened to me. I've went out a bunch of times, but I see it a lot in my work today. Like, it could get you, man. You got to stay real vigilant and really just stay like in today. Like it really is just for today.
Yeah. Day by day, minute by minute.
Yeah, man, because like I had no plans on it. It was just me and some dude one night, and we went out, and then fast forward, once that beast starts, and it was like that's when I went on that big run.
Yeah.
When I disappeared, and it's weird when we talk about this kind of stuff, or sometimes I forget, and then I'll think, like in my head, it's like these weird flashes of like a movie. It's almost like it didn't happen. A lot of the like really dark, ugly, like just crazy stuff. You're just like, does that really happen? Like, or was it a movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Sometimes I watch movies too with, about this topic, and I'm like, I'm either like, yep, that's how it is, or nah, that shit ain't how it is. You know what I mean? Like some of it's real fucking accurate, and some of it's just like, I don't know. But like, oh man, So going back even further, like, have you identified, like, doing all this work, have you identified, you said before that you were just in a lot of pain, like what did you identify that pain was? Have you identified it? And what are some things you're doing to help with that pain now that you're not using drugs to cover it up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, a lot of it was always that sense of feeling like an alien, like kind of just feeling different than other people. Felt like I never felt comfortable in my own skin. You hear that a lot, but it's true.
Yeah.
Always kind of like just not being able to put a finger on like what's going on inside, like just feeling like I just didn't want to. Not saying I didn't want to be here, but like it was really hard to connect. Like when I was younger, I was like, go, go, go. I was just all over the place. I love sports. I love being outside. I loved music. Like, it was like, but I could never just sit. And I think that's a big deal. It kind of says something like I kind of just needed to be able to sit alone with my feelings and with myself, which is one of the hardest things to do.
Yep. Absolutely.
For guys like us, right? It's like, I always got to be doing something, or I always got to be ingesting something, or
it's scary, because like you don't want to be alone with those thoughts or those feelings, because what's going to happen when you are. That you're going to find something or discover something that you don't want to bubble up to the surface. So probably the same thing with you as with me. Like, I did drugs to make that go away, to be able to sit and not think about anything, and to not worry about anything, and to not be anxious, and to not feel like I got to be doing something. And, all of that stuff turns into pain in a normal person. If you don't have an outlet for that, that's, addicts like us, that's the first thing we do, is when we realize that, oh, I could take this pill and then that fucking goes away. Like, holy shit, that's how we deal with it. People meditate, people exercise, people, go on vacations, people do all these different things. But, for us addicts, that's the answer until we find and train our brains to do something different instead of that. And that's the hardest part, because you're literally retraining your brain. But so there wasn't one particular thing that was like bothering you. It was just that, uncomfortableness and not being able to slow down for you.
Yeah, that's what's weird. It's like I always was, looking back when I first started going through the work and doing the steps and doing other stuff and therapy, it was kind of frustrating, because I would sit in meetings or sitting, talking with people, and they would tell me like these things that had happened to them, and some of it I could relate to and some of it I couldn't. And I was kind of like, there's no one thing. Like, I couldn't just say, oh, this is why, X, Y, Z.
So
why I did.
No like real trauma or anything that did it.
No, not like a one thing, but if you really, once I dove deeper now and through the years kind of learned by mistake, is that there's a lot of things, and I'm still learning from people, my teachers, is that like there's a lot of things also that like didn't happen that like can result in trauma. And it's not like big trauma that you hear about, but like small things, like I craved maybe a certain thing like in the household that I wasn't getting, or like in terms of like a certain affection or emotion stuff, or come from a really old school Italian, right off the boat, families, like
Yeah. Yep.
There wasn't like tons of like just sitting there and talking about my feelings, and just kind of like it was
what?
Just like work.
Talking about your feelings.
Yeah.
No, Mario. You push those down as far as you can, bottle them up, and you do not discuss them. Don't you know this, Mario?
You will not. Right. Never. No matter what.
No, what are you crying for?
It's true, right? Like it's you get it, man. And
no, that was a great point, though, that maybe the trauma came from something that didn't happen as opposed to something that did. That's great. I've never heard that before. That's something to
me neither.
About.
I'm just learning this stuff like now, and I'm 42 and learning from this. We have a great, amazing woman named Laura Sorty that works at our at Release, and she's our she's like the runs the whole outpatient, and she was teaching me about this kind of stuff when they're doing trainings. I'm like, oh my god, like what? Like what do you mean? Like
That's
you know?
awesome. I found all that stuff really. I think that's what kept me in recovery the most, is that someone came along that made it interesting for me to learn about it, you know? And then once I started to learn about the internal workings of addiction and all that stuff, it got me intrigued and I wanted to learn more, and it helped me, you know, stay clean and recognize triggers and all that stuff, like the stuff that, you know, we need to do on a daily basis. But tell me more about the group that you're working with, because it looks freaking phenomenal. And I'm not going to lie, I've had thoughts about going to work for, you know, a recovery group, or, you know, be you know, a drug counselor or something like that. But I was very happy and surprised that, you know, you were, you know, seems like a pretty intricate part over there. So yeah, tell me more about Release.
Oh, dude, it's the best. I feel like I finally found like a home, like, you know, because that was the other thing growing up. I never felt like I could, like, I had thousands of jobs, but I just never felt like it was like my heart. And, you know, there was a couple. I also feel like everything I've done to this point has led me and taught me on like how to do this job now. And so what I do now at Release is, it's called special services, but basically what that means is like I'm kind of running into like the gnarliest stuff. Like, you know, somebody will overdose and, you know, we get called, and someone, you know, my boss will call me and say, hey, what are you doing? Can you come? And I'll show up to the hospital, or I'll show up to someone's house and a family's worried. Kind of like, you know, what happened to me when I was working with you. Like, I go missing and a family will call and say, hey, our son's missing. We're dying. Like, we're worried. Like, you know, and we'll go out there. It's like sometimes you're kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter in a way, but you know, a lot of times it's really it's crazy because you're going to do a wellness check. You don't know what you're going to find. We're doing interventions. You know, I'm doing a thing a lot. You know, what I do a lot is called safe companions, where like I'll live with someone for X amount of time and I'm with them. I sleep with them. You're helping them, you know, either get off substances or either try to maintain sobriety, you know, which can be really tough, but also be so rewarding. I do safe transports where like, you know, I'll fly out to somewhere, I don't know, anywhere really in the country, and, or drive out and try to bring this person back and try to engage them into going either to treatment or coming back with me or whatever it looks like, you know. And I have some crazy stories that I think I'm going to write a book one day. But yeah, I've been all over the place, dude. California, Texas, Bahamas, Mexico. Like, it's like we get the call and it's like a firefighter kind of thing. So it's like, for some reason, that just fuels me. Like when I get a call like that, it was like I always wanted to be a firefighter, you know. And but now it's like I get to give back. I get to help people, you know, at probably their worst time in their life. But I also get to, it's bittersweet because I get to show them, like, it's very positive for me in terms of once, you know, you're bringing someone to treatment that's dying and their family's so worried and everybody's affecting everyone, and you get to bring them into treatment and they say yes, it's like the best feeling in the world, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and you get to follow them and like you become really close with them and the family, and you get to, you know, 8 months down the line, a year down the line, whatever, 2 years down the line, you're still talking to them, just checking in. It's like, I mean, I didn't even know that was possible, dude. Like, it's literally the best in the world. And, you know, I've been there, so that's why I think it's like so natural. And that's what kind of drives me is it's really, and a lot of the families, dude, I get to see a lot of like what I put my family through and what we do. And so that motivates me to really, you know, a lot of these families are just hurting and they don't know what to do. And it's like, we're there to, you know, kind of hold their hand and help them out and say, don't worry, you know, let us handle it. And like, we're going to do the best we can. We're going to try to save your daughter or your son.
Bro, you were good at making like triple venti skim lattes for soccer moms, but I think that this is your calling, bro. Like, this is perfect for you. I feel on both ends of the spectrum for you to maintain your own sobriety and, to be of service to people, like that's super important, because if we're not, it's just like clinically proven that like helping someone else like makes you feel better in every single way. So I think that's super important for you. I think I'm so fucking happy for you that you have that. I'm really happy.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a wild trip. And the coolest thing is that, I had worked at a couple places and I just wasn't really feeling it. And then did some other stuff and did some cool music stuff, which is like, obviously me and you connect, music connected us first and foremost. And it's really cool. Like I found these guys and, they're the best, dude. I get to like wear like what I want to wear. They're like, no, show your tattoos, or like wear the hoodies, and like, dude, wear whatever you want, basically. Just, we don't have like, they're just the coolest. They're just like, just be you, and we're gonna help you. Like they let me like found out like how I am best, like in addition to the team, and like really, trained me and just kind of, they weren't like trying to mold me into something I'm not, which a lot of times you go to a job and you have to do it, it's very strict, and they're the best, man. They let me kind of rock out, but they know that I got, the best intentions. I'm trying to help somebody, and I don't know, man, it's like a family over here. I would love to have you come visit, dude. They would love you.
I would love to, man. That'd be awesome. Where is it like based out of?
So our headquarters, like our office is in New York City in the Flatiron district. Like it's on 19th and 6th. And then we have a couple properties there, like sober livings. And then we also have like our original place is in Yorktown Heights, Westchester. So we have 2 there. And then we just opened up an outpatient clinic like 6 months ago. And it's been beautiful, man. Dude, they got me to do the marathon a couple years ago, which was insane.
I saw that.
Like we travel. Me and a couple of my friends go to see Pearl Jam. So the company was named after a Pearl Jam song.
I was making that connection. I was going to ask you about that because, yeah, I know the song. It's the fucking first song off a banger of an album, and it's like. I saw the name of it and I was like, wait, and just your love for Pearl Jam as well. I was like, oh my God, it can't be a coincidence.
That's what I said when I heard. I was like, wait, what? I was like, you guys named this after, like, you named this John after the Pearl. I was like, I got to find out what's going on here right now. Like,
that's awesome. So are they like certified? I don't know what they're like. Drug therapists, I don't know what you call them, but like rehab, I don't know the correct term for them, but they're like certified, they're doctors, like who owns it? Like tell me a little bit more.
So the owner's name is Zach Clark. He's been working in the mental health field for I think 12 years. He started it, and then we have like a full staff. We have probably more staff than anyone in the country in terms of like what we do. So we are sober living, like a highly structured sober living, but we also do we're like a full stop shop. Like we now have a doctor on board. We have clinical therapists. We have, recovery coaches. We have like, you name it. And, it's beautiful, man, because we're able to help and serve more people. And it's just a culture. It's really the culture that they created and the energy. Everybody that I know that I work with just really gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like they're just there because they love helping people. I'd say most of us are in recovery. There might be a couple that aren't, but the ones that aren't even are just like they're affected. Something happened or they're affected by it. So everybody that shows up there every day is just on the front lines. Like they just love helping people because they know it's like they have to. It's like a calling, like you said.
That's dope. So
yeah, we're able to do a few different, a slew of different things, and we do them really well. And yeah, I'm just very proud. I've never been so proud to work for a company probably ever. You know what I mean? Besides, like obviously when me and you were chilling working, and it was a different time. But it's like try to basically just dedicated my life at this point to this work.
Yeah, it's probably, super fulfilling. I mean, I don't see how, cause I ask myself that every day when I go to my job. I'm like, how, like, am I fulfilled? Am I being fulfilled by this job? And when I answer no, the first thing I think of is trying to work in a field like that. And I'm sure there are like, groups in California that are kind of like that, but, I don't know, that sounds amazing. That sounds super fulfilling. And I feel like you need that and they need you. But when you were saying that, you're basically the one that needs to convince the person who just fucking got out of an overdose to come to rehab, like, what does that fucking car ride look like with you? Like, I just, overdosed, got out of the hospital. I'm in the car with you. Like, what are you saying to me? Like, what's your approach to where, like, you don't want to scare them off, but you also know that this is the best thing for them? How do you gauge if they're ready or not? Like tell me a little bit about that scenario.
So it could look, obviously each situation's different. So we assess that, like, if it's like a straight intervention and the family calls and there's obviously a lot more planning, and we situate it and set it up like just a real intervention. Like, we have, family come, we have the letters, we have the whole thing. So that's one way, more of a conventional intervention. But if it's like an overdose like that, a lot of times, I mean, I was just a couple weeks ago, man, we, obviously can't say like names and specifics, but
sure.
There was a guy we had, and he was, visiting family or whatever, and he ended up, relapsing, and he overdosed, man. And I went right to go see him in the hospital, and I'm just connecting. I mean, I really just try to connect with them. I let them know, like, like, no one's mad at you. Like I've been there before. Like, I tell them my story a little bit. I try to bring a lot of hope, but I also try to let them know, like, this is killing you, dude. This is killing your family. There's nowhere, like, it doesn't get better than, you know what I mean? It's only going to go downhill from here. Like, it doesn't get better than this. Like, you're in the hospital. You almost just died. And it's tough. It's really tough, because when I died, I was pronounced and all that in the hospital, I woke up and I was like, I don't know what just happened to me, dude. Like, I was out for like 2 weeks and I don't remember a thing, So I wasn't like, oh, let's go to rehab. Like, I was like, yo, let's go back. I'm ready to get high. Because the crazy thing about this disease, this illness, is that
I know
it's insidious, it just tells you, like, yo, you don't got a problem. Like, let's go back out there. Like, talks, and I'm like, so it's really hard to kind of understand it, I guess. But a lot of times I'm just trying to meet them where they're at, trying to be their friend, and vibe out and connect with them on anything really. Whether that's, a lot of times music is actually my way in.
Yeah.
Because I can talk music all day, right? Why not? But it's a lot of that pain, a lot of that, like, hey man, like, I've been where you've been, like, I know where you're at. It's okay. Like, let's try, like, just try it. Like, if you don't like it, you can do whatever you want, but, like, shit's not good right now. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when you're in that situation, you're at rock bottom. When shit hit the fan, it's kind of like they know the gig's up. And sometimes they want help, and sometimes they still fight it, but I just tell them, like, just try it, dude. Like, what do you have to lose right now? Like, everything, you got nothing right now, like, try it. And if whatever happens, you just don't know. Because if I didn't try it, I would have never went into recovery. Like it took me a lot of times to try it, but
yeah, it takes a lot of people a lot of times, like, it's very rare that it catches on the first run. You know what I mean? It took me a couple times. I mean, shit, I thought it was a joke. And then, I relapsed with someone in the fucking group. So it got worse actually after the first time, but
yeah.
It's like in school when you're like, when in the DARE program, when they're teaching you about all those fucking different drugs and you're 13 and you're like, yo, I gotta fucking try that. What was that called again? What was that called? Wait, let me write this down. Wait, which one? Okay, I'm not fucking around with that one, but what was that one again? Like, it's the same thing. Like, you go to rehab and then you hear everybody's stories and you're like, oh shit, I'm good. Like, these people are fucked. And then you have that false sense of security. And then you go out and you're like, yeah, it's fine, you know, and then boom, you're worse off than you were before. So like, I understand that struggle, but like, and people never get it on the first time, I don't think, but you know, it's just consistency, and you know, everybody needs that Mario in their life to pick them back up and bring them back in and try again, you know. So I commend you.
Well, I think, dude, honestly, I think we're all put in certain places at certain times, dude. Like when you were there, you know, when I was on that run, like there's a reason why you were the one that were able to get through to me. And like sometimes it's me, I'm able to get through to people, and sometimes it's not. Like I have to call, you know, my coworker or someone else comes, you know, and say maybe they, you know, really it's whatever works. Like whoever can connect and get you to go, you know, to just try to see how much better of a life this is, dude. Because the pain, like you said, it always just gets worse and worse, and we're losing a lot of people now. It's not like, you know, with fentanyl and everything, dude, it's just a different ball game out there.
Oh man. Yeah. You, that wasn't around when you were in it. Where was it?
No, dude.
No, me neither. It was just starting to come up when I was in active addiction. But, I think that really scared me though, seeing or hearing about how fucking dangerous it was. And I think that kind of kept me clean too, was that whole scare. But that's just crazy, man. And the worst part is if you've been going this long clean and then you go back out on the streets and get some new shit, you're going to do the same amount as you thought you could do before. And then you're just dead.
Yep.
That's the fucked up part. Is like, you can't like even relapsing now is so fucking dangerous, and it's a whole nother fucking ball game out there. Like seriously.
It's dangerous, man. It's like, here we're seeing just mixed, you know, they're putting fentanyl in weed, in pills, and you name it, coke, crack, anything off the street is just could have fentanyl in it. And it's like, I always tell people, like, listen, I'm not the type that's going to tell anyone not to drink or do drugs. Like, listen, go do it. You know, I can't do it, right? But you could do it. Like, yeah. But if you're going to do it, just be safe. Like,
get it tested.
Use testing strips. Yeah, like have Narcan. Like, I'm a huge, you know, like, I believe in Narcan so much because it saved my life and it saves. So I have Narcan everywhere. I'm always promoting Narcan. I'm just.
Yeah, I've seen that. I saw your video on Instagram with the hey, have you ever heard of Narcan thing? Like you know, Mario on the street kind of thing. That I was really engaging. It was funny, but it was also really sad because like there was one person you walked up to with the Narcan and you know, you were like, hey, have you ever heard of Narcan? And they're like, nah, I'm out. And they just fucking, they were like, nah, I'm not talking to you about that. Cause I think they thought it was drugs, but it shows how the awareness about it isn't there. People don't know what it is. The name sounds scary. You know, a lot of people who don't know about addiction wouldn't condone it because it's like, oh, you're giving people permission to do drugs. They're not on the harm reduction side of people are going to do drugs. Let's save their fucking life. You know, I loved that reel that you did. And I think that's something that they could really use you for too, is like kind of like the man on the street kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. I want to see more of that content from you, talking to people on the street about stuff, raising awareness about that, you know, that kind of those kind of things that people are scared to talk about. Do more.
I'm in, dude. I'm always down. Like, I'm not the quiet type, you know that. So, you know, when it comes to uncomfortable conversations, and we have to have those conversations, like with whether it's, you know, we can't pretend it's not happening. Like, we're losing, I don't know what the numbers are right now. I know it was like over 100,000 last year. I think it was like 107,000 people from overdose.
Oh, shit, that's
like
fucking ridiculous.
You know, it's probably 175, 200 people a day. So it's not going away. Like, this has been over 10 years. It's just, we need to just have the conversation and just educate people and just make sure people have Narcan in their house or have it on them, or you just never know, dude. It literally could be the difference where you see somebody on the street or at a concert or at a party and they're, you know, hunched over and they're overdosing. Like, anyone can use it. You just put it in their nose and push the button. Like it's
it's not gonna be a scene from Pulp Fiction, you know?
no, yeah, no, exactly.
It's easy now.
No, but that's the thing, right? Like when we were younger, you know, the way, which is still one of my favorite movies, but
Oh yeah.
you know, the media like was always like kind of glamorizing stuff and making it look scary and different, but it's just kind of like really not like that anymore. It's like it's a little nasal spray. It looks like Afrin almost. You push it, you know, you in someone's nose, you push it up, and that's it. And then you roll them on their side. And if they need another one, and it's very, you know, obviously you call 911, but anyone could do it.
Yeah.
But it's just it's such an epidemic, dude, that we have to be more aware. We have to educate people, and mental health in general. Like, thank God the conversation's gotten a lot, you know, wider and more talked about with, you know, anxiety, depression, mental illness. Like,
Yeah, it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, dude. And that's what, you know, I guess if you asked me before, like, that kind of came first because I was always struggling on what was like the chicken or the egg for me. And I'd say the mental health piece came first, where for some reason, you know, I was always happy. And then for some reason, like around middle school, I started just getting depressed and more like, you know, insecure and insulated and just kind of normal stuff. But I felt it a lot more. And that's when I started really exploring and kind of, you know, dabbling into, you know, picking up substances to self-medicate.
Yeah. How was the pandemic for you? How was being in lockdown? Like, what did you do during that time to not go fucking crazy?
So I had a pretty good, I actually had a great pandemic. Sometimes I miss it, to be honest with you.
Me too.
I was blessed, dude. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there were certain aspects of it that were great. It was very scary, but I remember just calling my mom and my brother and just being like, "Hey, you guys got anything for this?" Like, you know, usually they're the older ones and they were like, "Nah, we never seen this shit." So, I mean, that sense of, I think recovery helped me because I had a community. I was used to kind of the unknown. And really, again, that day at a time, you know, just, you know, live one day at a time thing. So I wasn't really that nervous or anything. It was just, I felt bad because I wasn't actually in lockdown like that. Like, I was actually doing my job. Like, I was flying around, like driving around doing interventions and transports and helping people.
Do you think it was worse for people during the pandemic? Like,
Absolutely.
Addiction wise?
Yeah, dude, it was bad. Like the isolation, the, you know, the lack of like purpose. I think it was a good and a bad thing. Like, I think it helped people get to their bottom a little sooner because people kind of got found out about, you know, the classic story. I remember it was like a lot of the guys we were getting would have to move back home, and then their family would immediately start seeing how bad their drinking was, and they couldn't hide it. So it was that was a good thing. I think it was like if you were entering, you know, the kind of recovery, it was a tough time, but it was also like I said, like people were just more aware. You couldn't hide it.
Yeah.
But the other issue is that I felt a lot of people did have a relapse and were struggling because, you know, they looked for that meeting that they would go to every day or every, you know, or whatever, and hanging out with friends. And that I felt bad about because, you know, it's tough, man, being alone, you know, it's like the opposite of what you're supposed to do when you're recovering, you know? So Zoom,
I know.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden the world's like, go isolate. And you're like, no, dude, that will kill me, bro. Like, literally that will kill me. But Zoom actually saved our lives. Like, I was really, really impressed on how fast Zoom just kind of became a thing for meetings, and I was able to go to meetings, you know, pretty much 24/7, you know, in any country. I was like I was going to LA meetings like nonstop because of the time difference.
Yep.
And I think what kept me going was just we were so busy. I was busy at work. I was able to kind of, you know, travel and do what I had to do. But also those Zoom meetings saved my life. And I met a bunch of cool people that some of them I actually got to meet in person. And I think the only thing that helped me is knowing we were all kind of all in it together. Mm-hmm. Which again is like kind of another recovery thing. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in this together. So we don't know what's going to happen, but we have each other in a sense of, but yeah, man, I mean, if I was like brand new, I don't know, dude, if I would have made it. Like if I was just kind of early recovery, that's tough, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about everybody out there, like, and as a, you know, recovering addict myself, I was like, oh my God, like, am I gonna be able to do this? Like, and then I was like, yeah, I do. Cause I have a good support system, you know, I got my family out here, but are there specific coping strategies or tools that you use to maintain your sobriety? Like what are some particular things that you do?
Oh, absolutely. So with, you know, the job is one thing, and it's very fulfilling and very purposeful, and you know, it's amazing. But I have to take care of myself, and because it takes a lot out of you. You know, working in the mental health field takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
So when I'm not working, I mean, obviously I still love to have fun. I probably too much fun. You know what I mean? I go to a lot of concerts still, and I'm always kind of doing that kind of stuff. And I call it partying, but partying sober, I guess, like, you know, being with friends and just hanging out, laughing and eating good food and whatever. But I really just try to make sure I get good rest. I try to connect with family. You know, I try to go to some meetings on my own time, try to read some literature. You know, I'm in and out with the gym, but that's really helpful. You know, and I can fall off a lot, dude. Like I have, you know, it's not my only thing. Like I have struggles with food and nicotine still, and, you know, pretty much anything. I always want more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just try to take it easy. Like now I've been off for like about a week, and I just been kind of relaxing, dude. I've been watching Sopranos,
Yes.
just eating, you know, just chilling, dude, just not doing too much because, you know, you get tired, man. It takes a lot out of you, like emotionally and physically and spiritually, you know? So it's like just taking it easy, visiting family, you know, just hanging out, getting a couple things done that, you know, around the house, and just trying to really kind of just do nothing, you know?
Yeah, I've seen the incredible amount of Pearl Jam concerts that you've been going to. I'm super jealous because I still have yet to see fucking Pearl Jam live.
Oh, we gotta go, dude.
Dude, I'm like, it's the one band that I've never seen live. I don't know why. I just don't know why. I've seen all the bands I love live, and I don't know why I've never seen Pearl Jam.
They're great, man. I mean, but you know me, dude. I'll go see, like when me and you used to hang out too. I'll go see any show, any day, any venue. Like you know, I'm going. I don't know. It doesn't have. I just love live music, and just Pearl Jam. Just I fell in love with them. You know, obviously when 10 came out, but like in high school, I really started like going into them hard. It used to be GNR,
Yep.
which still is, but like for something about, you know, after that, it was just like that just connected with their music and their lyrics. And but once I saw them live, I was like, dude, they played for like 3.5 hours, and like they're just a great live band. And it's the same thing though, dude. It's like the energy of the crowd and the people you meet, and it's that whole like connectivity. You know what I mean? Like it's that whole same thing as what I was always looking for in life.
Yeah, when I go on Pearl Jam's like streaming service section of whatever, like they have all of their concerts on there. Like they have tons. Anything that was recorded, it looks like they put on their live albums. There's like rows and rows and rows and rows of it. It's ridiculous. I always kind of saw them as like like grunge version of like a jam band, because none of their set lists are the same. They play for, like you said, for like 3 hours. They let people record, trade, and you know, put up their shows. I love when bands are able to do that. So sometimes I'll just randomly pick one of these live albums, and they're all different. They do the songs different every single time. There's always something different, and it's so interesting. I always, even going back to, you know, when Pearl Jam first, you know, came on the fucking scene, like I would go into like the CD stores and look for like the weird like UK singles and stuff, because they always had like live versions of songs on there. And there's one there's one that I'm still looking for to this day. It had the best version of Black that I've ever heard live, And I still sometimes go through some of their live albums on here and listen to Black on all of them and see if it's that one. But I think it was like live in Atlanta, but I don't remember the year. And it was like the B-side to one of their singles. And I was like, I'm still trying to find it to this day. But anyway.
Yo, I might have that, dude. I might, we got to talk after, because I do the same thing with them. And, you know, when I was younger, same thing. I remember like they always had the albums in like Coconuts and Strawberries or whatever. And
yeah.
And they had the bootlegs with the brown on it. And we would go, it was just cool. You could like, you know, oh, I was at this show, and like, you want to get it. And lately with the streaming, I've been doing that the last couple of years. And specifically with Black, I always try to find different versions. And I just found a new version. It might be that one. I think it might have been Atlanta.
Fuck, if it was Atlanta, shoot me a link, bro. I'll listen to it. I'll tell you if it's the one. But that's crazy. It like 20 freaking years later, I'm still looking for that stupid song. But what's the last concert you went to?
Let's see. That's a good question. The last concert I just went to, I think, was the Arctic Monkeys. Right? Yeah, I think it was the Arctic Monkeys. Arctic. I don't know if I'm even saying that right.
Yeah, Arctic Monkeys. They're cool. They
were really, dude. They were really fucking good.
Yeah, they're really good. I don't give them enough playtime, but I know they're really talented. They're good. I'm trying to think of the last one I've been to.
Yeah, what was the last show?
Meniskin?
No way.
I think it was them. Yeah,
dude, I've been wanting to see them.
They're good. They're really good live. They're so fun. So fun. I could be wrong. We're going to see Stevie Nicks in December. Those tickets were fucking ridiculous. But I was like, I got to see her before, you know, something happens. And
yeah. No, yes, you do, dude, because that's one thing I learned. Like, just say yes to every show or whatever, or try to, because, dude, I've seen so many people like that. And then, like, they're gone. Like, I saw Tom Petty and then he was gone. Like,
no, that's another one I would have liked.
You know what
I
mean? Like, people you just have to kind of go. But tickets are so crazy now. Like, I'm in the thing where I just wait until like the couple days before and just try to get, you know, when they start going down.
They're ridiculous. Ticketmaster
it's absurd.
Is being so stupid right now, and nobody's doing anything about it.
I know. We need Pearl Jam to go back and take them to court.
They don't need to anymore. That's the problem. They're like they sell their tickets. I don't even know who they go. Do they go through Ticketmaster?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, they do it a little better where they like try to control it so that they don't go out of control. Like, they have like lotteries and, you know, fan to fan stuff, but it's a disgusting. Like, when I looked at, who did I just look at?
Bro, tickets for shows back in the day, we used to pay $25.
I know,
35,
dude. 50
25
was a lot, you know, like.
Yeah, 50 was like good seats. You were like, yeah. Or GA. And it was like, now I look at the prices. I'm like, ooh, let me look up this band. They're in town. Let me see. Nope. Not going to do it.
Honestly, I'm real selective now with like, unless I'm not trying to pay like a crazy amount unless it's someone I really like, a one-off. Like, I saw Nas at the Garden. Nas is like my favorite hip hop artist.
Yeah.
So I saw him at the Garden.
He's a legend.
Like, really close, because that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But other than that, dude, I'm just going to see little, you know, I like to see little small venues and keep it old school. And if something comes up and there's a good deal or someone but yeah, it's just not affordable. It's not that fun, man.
I know.
You know, I'd rather check out like an indie band or just some friends or a cover band or just someone, you know, just random people. I don't know. I'd rather just go to a little, you know, smaller venues, dude.
Yeah, me and my stepdaughter do that a lot. She finds all these little like lo-fi bands that pop up on her Spotify, and then we go and check them out because those tickets aren't that bad, and plus they're really good. They're mad chill, you know. The spots are pretty cool that we go to, but yeah, it's back to supporting the little guys, I guess.
Yeah, man, and it's affordable, dude. You must have some great venues. Are you near like where are you located out there?
Yeah, we're about 45 minutes from downtown LA, so you know, we can go pretty much anywhere in SoCal. We go to Orange County a lot too for stuff, but Yeah, we can pretty much go to whatever venue we want, but like I said, it's it's stupid expensive. Like we had to like budget for these Stevie Nicks fucking tickets, and it's like that part isn't fun. You know, when you go, it's great, but you know, it's like when you gotta like put shit to the side to go see a fucking concert, it's sad. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Dude, I love it out there though. I remember I waited my whole life to go out to the Strip and all those places, and I got to do it in recovery. And I actually went to the coolest AA meeting I've ever been to at the Rainbow.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's on the low. I'll tell you about it after offline, but it's pretty cool, dude.
Oh, you probably ran into some people, huh?
Yeah,
Yep.
It's really cool. But I was also just like, you know, obviously it's like my dream to go out there, and I got to catch a show at the Troubadour, and it was so cool.
That's dope.
It was I forget his name, Brad Wilk. It was the bass player from Rage Against the Machine had his own side project, like a punk band. I forget the name of it. It was so good.
I had no idea. I'm waiting for a new record from them, so it's gotta happen soon. I mean, Zach's all over the Run the Jewels albums. You know, every time he pops up, he's still fucking phenomenal. Like, I don't understand what their problem is, you know?
I don't know, dude. But yeah, that was one show I would have loved to go to. They came around here, but it was just too expensive. Yo, I did see Limp Bizkit, though, at the Garden. I was thinking about you.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. Cheap, too, dude. And on the floor, I actually had to get out of the pit. Me and my boy. It was the first time I was like, yo, I think I'm done. You know, it was too gnarly, bro. They picked me up and threw me over. You know, I had to get out. Still one of the best shows I ever seen, bro. Like just as good as like years ago.
Shit. That's so funny. Wait, this is recently?
Bro, it was last winter. They were at the Garden.
Oh my God.
They were booking tours, and they kept canceling through a pandemic, and we caught them at the Garden for cheap, right on the floor. And
awesome.
They didn't sell out, but it was amazing. Like the fans came out, it was gnarly. Like some dude at the end was just like on the ground. I think he broke his leg or something. You know, it was all love, obviously, but it was like they went hard. I know me and my boy, he's jacked, and I was like, yo, we got to get out. We both were like, yo, we love pits. We're like, dude, it was crazy old school pit.
That's dope. I don't think I could handle that anymore. I wish I could. Yeah. I'd hop in a pit in a minute, but I know that would take me 3-4 days of just bed rest to get over.
Yeah, now I'm at the age where I'm just like, yo, I know when it's time to get out, or when where I'm in this, be on the outskirts and just push people, just be on the outside.
God. All right, Mario, I gotta wrap it up. Give me a good music suggestion. Give the listeners a good album to listen to. What's something that you don't think anybody's really heard of that you've been listening to lately?
I mean, that's a great question. There's so much that I listen to. Let me see. Hold on. Let me look at my right now. I've been listening to like all kinds of stuff lately. Like I've been listening to a lot of old school Biggie. I've been listening to No Doubt, just Tragic Kingdom, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's always on in our house somewhere.
Yeah, dude. Like I just constantly try to pay respects to like the old school. It just feels good.
Yo, it's so great walking by. Like my stepdaughter's 20. She's 20 now, but she like. It's so great walking by like her room and hearing like down in a hole and I do, and I'm like, yes, I love you. You're 20 and you're keeping it alive. She's like Nirvana. She Portishead. She loves all. I gave her my fucking CD collection from my 20s recently, and she's just been going through them. Like she knows a lot of it. Like she loves the grunge, the alternative stuff from like the 90s. But she's, hopefully she's finding some gems in there. I gotta ask her if she found anything cool. But yeah, it was, I'm like, why are you crying so loud in here? Alice in Chains.
That's so cool. You're the coolest dude ever, bro.
I'm so lucky, man.
Real stuff, bro.
So lucky. But go ahead. Oh, I got one for you. Have you heard of the Co-Defendants?
No.
Okay, it's a new album. Fat Mike from NoFX, Cheshi Ramos, he's a rapper, and then there's another guy from, I think they're called Get Dead. It's like kind of like a punk band, but they like come together and they do this crazy it's like punk and hip hop, and there's all there's like weird like 1940s jazzy kind of shit going on there. It's so good, and it's dark. You know, they talk about everything from drugs, suicide, you know, trauma, doing stints in prison, but they do it in a really cool, artistic, interesting way. So I've been listening to that album nonstop. Co-Defendants. This is Crime Wave, it's called, but check them out. Give me some. Come on.
All right. The last couple of years, these guys I love. They're called Griselda. It's West Side Gun, Conway the Machine, and Benny the Butcher. You got to try. They're from Buffalo.
Bro, they bring that old school fucking boom bat, dirty, grimy, underground Wu-Tang fucking style back. I love them.
Yeah, dude.
I love them. I literally just found out about them probably 2 or 3 months ago. Someone was listening to them at work, and I was like, who is this? And what era are they from? Because this sounds straight out of high school right now. And they're like, no, they're new. I was like, no way. So yes, good recommendation.
It's so grimy, dude, and they're just, I don't know, that's where it's at for me, I'd say. And then also been getting into more, I've been loving this one artist for like the last, pretty much my whole sobriety, that he's actually in recovery too, but he's just a great songwriter. His name's Jason Isbell, dude. Great artist. Check out like his live shit from the Ryman. It's just insane, dude. Great voice, killer guitar player.
All right, I'll check it out. I just pulled it up.
Yeah, you've probably heard his song. Like he wrote like probably half the music for that movie with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Like he's like the real deal. Like,
oh, for reals? A Star Is Born.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
He's just a good dude, but just he could sing and play guitar. Like, and the songwriting is just like killed. You just start crying, dude.
The songs from that movie are like low key fire.
Bro, super good, bro. I watched that movie so much. We went actually as like a group of us from one of our meetings, and they were like bringing tissues and shit over. They were like, everybody was, because it was just such a relatable, just like I just felt that dude's pain, bro. It was just sad, but it was so good.
Dude, man, my wife and my stepdaughter wanted me to watch that, and they were like, okay, we're gonna watch A Star Is Born. I was like, oh, it's gonna be so fucking lame, fucking Lady Gaga, whatever. I don't even know who Bradley fucking Cooper is, right? And then my stepdaughter turned to me and she goes, hey, there are some scenes in this movie that might be triggering. And I was like what? What are you talking about? And she's like, you know, like drugs and stuff. I was like, oh, we good. Don't worry about it. But I thought that was so sweet of her to like think about that before watching the movie. It's making me tear up right now that it was so thoughtful. And I was like, you know, thank you so much for doing that. In watching it, I was like, damn, this is a little tough.
Yeah,
I was like, shit, this is a little tough. She was right. But she, you know, and she checked in too halfway through. She's like, you good? I was like, I'm good. Let's keep going, you know? But it was such a super mature thing for her to do. That's the one thing that stuck with me about that movie was the consideration she put into me watching it. But great flick.
Difference now, dude, between like, you know, us growing up and now changing like the patterns in households of like, you guys are talking, you know what I mean? You're talking about real shit like that. Like, that's fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah. Really lucky. Super lucky.
Yeah, dude. Well, last recommendation. Now, you ever see Silver Linings Playbook by Bradley Cooper?
No.
Dude, watch that. If you don't relate, I don't know.
I'm not wired right.
It's great, bro. I mean, for me and you, like, dudes, I got like, bro, one of my favorite all-time movies. It's Silver Linings Playbook.
Really? I've heard about it like a lot. I know it's a good movie, but I've never seen it.
Dude, another one. It's one of my favorites that I bought one time, like years ago, because I was just like, damn, that dude is me. Like, he just acted it out so well. Just like how I feel inside. And he knows, because he's, you know, he's one of us. Like, he's in recovery.
It's dope, dude. I'll check it out.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I'll put it on my to-watch list. All right, Mario. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to me, filling in those blanks for me about our history. I'm surprised you did fill in the blanks, but yes, I thank you. I commend you for what you're doing, and I'm really, really, really happy for you and that you're doing good.
Dude, thank you, man. I could talk to you all night, bro. I'm like amped now. I'm just like pacing, walking about, just like, yo, I want to go over there. I want to come see you, dude. Like, this has been very special, and I'm very grateful to you, and I'm just so happy that we connected, dude. Thank you so much, and I love you so much, bro.
Thank you. I love you too, bud.
Thanks for having me.
There you have it, folks. Mario Diurno. If you or anybody you know is struggling, he straight up gave me his number, his personal phone number, for you to call him if you need help, or if you just want to say what's up. 203-917-1988. Thanks again, Mario. Have you back in a couple weeks. Check up on you, see how you're doing. And once again, thanks everyone for listening. See you next time.